On the line with us, one of the finest investigative reporters working in the United States today, Lee Fang, investigative reporter with both The Nation and RepublicReport.com. TheNation.com is The Nation's website, and Lee has a new piece on The Nation about how the president could reform our dark money problem with the stroke of a pen. Lee, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Tom. Thank you so much for having me.
It's always great talking with you. So, first of all, can you define for us the scope of the dark money problem, and for that matter, define dark money?
Well, Tom, we have a situation today in America where hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent to elect the new Congress, and the source of that money is a mystery. It does not have to be disclosed. Dark, untraceable money really became a problem in modern American campaigns following the Citizens United decision in 2010, basically by taking away the need for campaign donors to come from campaign money to come from individuals, allowing corporate money to flow into elections, created this problem because a corporation is only just legal fiction, right? Anyone can create a nonprofit or for-profit company and create a series of shell companies and conceal their donation once this trigger was made. So in the last 3 elections, we've seen the amount of dark, untraceable money typically pumped into the campaign system through 501c3 and C4 and C6 nonprofits. This problem has been growing, but in the last congressional election, we saw the largest amount of dark money. We really don't know the identities of who bought the latest Congress, the new Republican Senate majority, and many of the new freshmen coming into Congress.
Right. So basically, our nation, our elected officials have been put up for sale by the Supreme Court, and we don't even know who owns them. So what's your proposed solution?
Well, this was an idea first floated by the Barack Obama administration in 2011 following the first dark money election in 2010. But this idea is that President Obama can issue an executive order today and require that companies or individuals receiving federal contracts disclose their dark money payments because of this relationship they have with the federal government.
Which would be, probably 80-90% of the Fortune 500?
Yeah, potentially even more than that, because even some of the more obscure privately held companies have federal government contracts, and almost all of the large publicly traded companies do, whether it's through pharmaceutical companies have NIH grants, even Koch Industries have federal contracts through the Department of Defense. So this executive order wouldn't touch everybody, but it would touch a large portion of the companies in America.
Yeah, and it's the companies that have federal contracts that are the most aggressive in passing out money and lobbying because they want to get more money from the federal government. What does Koch Industries have to do with the Department of Defense?
Koch Industries, through their Georgia Pacific subsidiary, they make a lot of the siding and roofing and different timber products that are used by the military. So they've got huge federal contracts, and they also have fuel-related federal contracts with the military. Wow. So this is a relationship they're not going to give up, but of course Koch Industries doesn't want to disclose where they're giving their money.
Right. Have you gotten any feedback on this? Do you know if the president or the others in his administration, you said that they suggested this back in 2011. Is there any kind of modern day top of mind awareness on this? Do you think, what do you think the chances are of something like this happening?
Unfortunately, I think the chances are pretty slim. I think I'm the only person talking about this. I've gone on a couple other radio programs, and there's a lot of interest from the grassroots. A lot of activists have emailed me, but I haven't seen any of the other campaign finance reform or good government groups really talk about this, except for Public Citizen. And you don't see this a loud discussion in the media about this. But when Obama floated this idea in 2011, the business community went ballistic one of the most powerful business lobbying groups, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, actually threatened violence over this. They said that, if Obama goes through with this, we're going to respond like the NATO forces responded in Libya. All options are on the table. I mean, it was...
Wait, they're going to bomb the White House?
That's the quote they used on the front page of the New York Times. So that gives you the degree of seriousness.
Holy cow.
They take secret money. It was quite a provocative quote. In any case, the Obama administration has complete liberty to do this now, but I suspect the dynamic that's pushing in the other direction, not only is the business community very protective of their secret money because many of their corporate donors would not give that money if they had to be revealed. Many of them have consumer products and they don't want the political backlash. But the other dynamic here is that Democrats have taken advantage of dark money too. In this previous election, Republicans used more dark money than Democrats by a 3-to-1 margin. That being said, Democrats have embraced this too, and this executive order is neutral. It would apply to both sides, and you'd see a lot of embarrassing details about companies that give to Democratic dark money groups, including the groups backing Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. And presumably unions as well. This would not limit itself for-profit corporations?
This would go.
Although the unions are self-disclosing anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. Some police unions and other state-affiliated public sector unions have less disclosure requirements, but large national affiliates have to disclose every penny of their donation. So we actually know where most of the unions.
Yeah, in fact, wasn't that part of Taft-Hartley?
Yeah, some of the follow-up amendments to Taft-Hartley in the 50s concerned union disclosure. That was after a lot of the corruption and mob-related scandals in the 50s. But yeah, large unions have to disclose every dime of their spending, even to dark money groups. Yeah.
So what can our listeners and our viewers do to encourage this administration? I mean, is there something on change.org? Is it a matter of call the White House? Is this the kind of thing where you try to influence members of Congress? Or is it just, hey, tell 10 friends and spread the word? With an executive order, the president could say anybody who does business with the government, which is pretty much every big company, has to disclose all of their dark money contributions. Is that, what's your suggestion? Where do we go from here?
It's hard to say. I think just making noise is the best thing possible because right now, Obama's considering some other executive orders, but I don't even know what his position on this type of executive order is today. So I think calling the White House is a good idea. Calling even campaign finance organizations and calling members of Congress and asking where they stand. I think all of that is good proactive activity. And this is important because really, as members of the public or members of the media, we have no idea who purchased our latest round of congressional leaders, and to really understand what's going on Capitol Hill, to understand what's motivating our policymakers, this is crucial information.
Yeah, absolutely, and so well said. So back in 2011, when the Obama administration was in favor of this, was the president on record, or was this just some administration person?
This is what they call in Washington, D.C., a trial balloon. They kind of anonymously leaked from a senior White House official the idea to D.C. media. And so D.C. media, Politico, The Hill, The Washington Post reported on this, and that's when we started seeing the backlash from business groups and many on Capitol Hill. You saw congressional Republicans saying, "Oh, this is an effort to silence the president's opponents." This executive order wouldn't silence anyone. This would just force companies to have the courage to stand by their own speech. The executive order would not actually limit anything. It would only provide more transparency. Amazing.
Lee Fong, writing over at The Nation, thenation.com. Lee, thanks for dropping by.
Tom, take care. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.